Welcome back to the shed of basketball truth. It is Studio 3 here for Ball Don't Lie. Of course, brought to you by the official beer company and supported by the local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem. We survived the cyclone that showed up late, but definitely showed up, all across Brisbane area. But anywho, he's back, ladies and gentlemen, and we've got some extra titles. What are we going to go with now? We've got to go with current FIBA 3x3 Australian number 2 in official rankings. Of course, future NBL star. And that's not like any asterisk stuff anymore. That's rubber stamped by Vandy. And, of course, just, all-round heartthrob of the league, Timmy Soong. Hey, welcome back.
It's always a pleasure to be on Board Don't Lie.
Well, of course it is. But, thanks for jumping back on. Always appreciate it. And look, it's some big stuff happening in your world at the moment with the 3x3 stuff, but also some big stuff in the NBL/NBA. And the Pelicans are on their way in October.
Yes.
Very cool if you're a kid with basketball parents and you live in Melbourne. Very cool. Top shelf level cool. But yeah, look, as a Brisbane adult, it's not going to get me off the bench. They're not my team. I love it as a thing. Great. But yeah, not coming to my city. I'm probably not going to travel for this one. How about you?
It is tough. I think the Pels, they do have a good team. Maybe if Dyson was still there, you'd get a lot more of the Aussie backing. But depends if, I guess the GM came out and said that all the players will be coming. So it just depends if you'll actually see Zion and who else do they have? CJ McCollum.
Yep.
Those sort of guys actually suit up and play.
Yeah, and that's obviously the big thing. Obviously, we want those guys to play. We want the guys on the poster to be on the court. So hopefully that can happen. But yeah, a lot of hype around it. I know some basketball fans, even adult ones down in Melbourne, who've already hit the QR code on the bottom of the screen and pre-ordered their pre-sale spots in the queue or however it's going to work. But yeah, big news, very cool. Almost as big as one not so young Mr. Andrew Bogut. Ownership isn't enough. He's now going to step into the assistant coach role under Gorge. And look, I actually don't mind it. What are your thoughts?
I think it's definitely he's been playing the game for a long time. He knows the ins and outs, and especially when it comes to the NBL and that league, being a former MVP. He's sort of done the hot seat now since he's retired with ownership into commentating this season in the back end and now stepping into the coaching role.
Yeah, look, I like it for a lot of reasons. Of course, that experience, like it's pretty much unmatched when you talk about his basketball level experience, an NBA championship where he was still a fairly decent piece. Wasn't if he was barely ever playing like some others like the White Mamba. Sadly, he wasn't didn't play that starring or even crucial piece role in his Spurs, and even he say himself asterisk chip. But I like this. I think it's really kind of cool that ownership's taken the spot. I think it might put a little bit of extra pressure on Gorge in that sense. Not that he necessarily feels those things, but it feels like there's ownership's going to have a spy in the camp, if you will, a little bit. But you've got someone with amazing understanding of the game, has done it all, coming in, can only help. And hey, if you were to get someone with his experience, it'd cost you a bit of money, so even helps out and saves the team a little bit too, possibly.
100%.
Look,
I feel like he's going to be one of those coaches that just really relates to the players as well, being that ex-player, and it's definitely going to get the best out of the team, whoever they end up signing.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the big things, isn't it? That respect to that level, you got to respect the person who's, flapping their jaws at you. And if you don't, we've seen it end really quickly at this level below and at every level of coaching. It just turns sour. He's got the resume. Surely that, that respect will be there to begin with. And obviously then it's up to him to earn it in that place. But mate, let's talk 3-on-3 because the 3x3, national teams have now been released. Absolute travesty they didn't take number 2. Let alone number 1.
Yeah.
With, of course, Matty Johns.
Big
getting the call.
Surprise seeing Matty out on that team. I think just based on his past, or since the NBL one-off season, really. His experience in all those tournaments that we've been to, he's been to, he's done exceptionally well. He's got the build for a 3-on-3 player. He's athletic. He can defend, pass, shoot. He can do everything. So very surprised he did not get the call up for that one.
Very much so. Now, when did you first start? When did you first get into this 3x3 idea?
So the first thing was sort of I think it was about 2 years ago now. Kai and Benny Volkman sort of messaged me, asked me to come along to a comp that was just at the Eat Street out at Hamilton. They said come along for the day, and if we win, we'll go to Taipei. But I don't think any of us really had that expectations. But yeah, we rocked up, and then later in the day, we just kept going and going, and then next thing you know, we win and we end up going to Taipei. And so that sort of just all kick-started it there.
So show up, late on day one, stumble your way through it, obliterate the competition, boom, straight to Taipei.
Yeah.
Love it. What is a major difference of the 3x3 game that you find is a positive fit for your game?
I think it's just you've only got 3 players on the court, so everyone needs to defend, rebound, shoot, dribble, pass. Everyone needs to be able to do everything, and it's just real fast-paced, which I really like. There's barely any stoppages. Subs are just rolling on constantly at every dead ball. It's really just like you 4 players for that 10 minutes.
Nice. And with the extra space on the court, does that allow for more dunks, or do you not do that at that level as well?
I think I'm always good for the occasional dunk here and there.
Occasional road dunk, for sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. All right. Okay. How did you guys qualify for Vietnam? Obviously, from there, you got high enough to then qualify for Thailand, and it's just a rolling ball now. But how did you actually qualify for Vietnam?
Yeah, so what we're doing right now, we've been in Vietnam and Thailand, and then next week we're off to Japan. So this is all the 3x3 XE Super Premier. So it all started back end of last year. There was the XE Australia qualifiers. So there was 4 weekends, I'm pretty sure, 2 rounds each weekend in Melbourne and the sunny coast. And we were lucky enough to finish top of that. So that booked a ticket over to Japan at the end of last year, where TZ, Johnsy, Kai and Benny went over, and they played in the playoffs, so the XE playoffs, and that was against, you had the Japanese teams, you had a couple Aussie teams, some from Thailand, some from Vietnam. So that was just a weekend tournament, and they did really well over there, ended up coming 3rd, and qualified for the Super Premier, which is what we're doing currently, which is, again, just the top of the teams from the playoffs. And then they've added in a couple of the World Tour teams, which are top 12 teams in the world on top of that.
Nice. And are you guys just super rich, or do you have sponsors who jump in and help out along the way?
we definitely have some sponsors. Morco, Matty Johns' boss, Todd, has definitely helped us out a lot over the period, and we are very grateful. We do appreciate everything that he has provided for us, because definitely without his help, we wouldn't be able to play these comps.
Get around them if you can. They support local hoopers. Great stuff, Morco. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of why you're here. And no, it's not the NBL Grand Final stuff, which we will get to, because that's just incredibly spicy at the moment. Absolutely loving it. What a finish to tonight's game. But mate, Capitals special season last year, really was. But it wasn't a smooth start. What was the mood after that loss to Seahawks, which then took you to 1 win out of 5 games? What was the mood and situation there? Because that was kind of the turning point after that. Things really turned around.
It was definitely a tough start for us all. We knew coming into the season with a new coach and a lot of new players that it would take some time to sort of integrate everyone and sort of work out your roles. It just took a little bit longer than we were hoping for. But yeah, I think we just had a chat before a training after that Seahawks game and sort of cleared the air with everything. We all talked through what we thought and what we should do. And it definitely turned our season around then.
Which you went on. You only dropped one more game in the regular season after that. Obviously 3 in total, but we'll get to that. We'll get to the Mackay ones as well. But, you guys obviously ended up in 4th place. Tough start, 1 from 5. You then go on to, was it 11-6 record? Very nice turnaround. Well done. You make your way into the playoffs. Rocky come down for a visit, send them packing, and then you get the trickiest one of them all, the Darwin road trip to play in Darwin. Did you guys go into that positively knowing that you were going to finish off their NBL 1 North forever for the Darwin Salties, or was there any, this is going to be tough? What was the actual vibe going in? Because obviously since then, they've stepped away from NBL 1 North, which of course you guys didn't actually finish off. That was other stuff, but it was now their last game.
Yeah, no, we obviously we were confident heading in. Like, the goal is to always win, and we had a game plan heading in, and we were able to execute that almost perfectly, if not perfectly, and run away with it's probably what, 30 point win, I think it was in the end, which was, you got to be happy with that up in Darwin with the hostile crowd. It was definitely one of the most exciting games I think I've played in personally.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and then of course from there, it's the easiest road trip in the world, mate. Like, you just go to Mackay and you get the W. It's really not, though, is it? Ever, even before the rebrand of the NBL 1 North, but the Mackay trip, it's been a difficult one for every team that's gone there on the men's side of the draw the entirety of the last 4 years. You guys must have known it was going to be definitely a challenge going there and trying to snatch 2 wins.
Yeah, 100%. I think Mackay all season was definitely one of the top teams, if not the top. They finished first on the ladder, so they were the top team. And just it really showed the detail that they sort of went to in the scout, and just executing during the game really showed.
And what was the grand final series like from your point of view? you were there for both games, obviously swept, had opportunities in both, but they ended up getting it done.
Yeah, well, obviously it was pretty sad. Like, you always go with the expectation of winning, I think, and especially in the grand final, there's a lot of sort of built up excitement to sort of just go out there and just play. So it was obviously very disappointing when we couldn't get that win on the first night. But then the best thing about a 3-game series is you get to go back to the hotel, reassess, and give it another crack the next night. But unfortunately, wasn't our night either.
Wasn't. Now, as someone who's, as you said earlier, is always looking for that win, do those 2 games define the season for you when you look back? Or is it the whole, is it the entirety, or is it those 13 W's in the end? What are the bits you actually think of? Or is it one of those things where it's like, well, job's not done. We've got to, does it put fire in the belly for this season?
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely on the back of all of our minds heading into this season. Like, we're coming out for vengeance. And we're not going to take it lightly this year. But I don't think it summed up our season. No, it was. I think that middle stretch of our season was definitely how we played. We showed that we can bring it back, and if we stick together, then we're one of the top teams in the league.
Well, yeah. You take out those 4 losses at the start of the season, and all of a sudden that win-loss really turns around. But on the flip side of that, of course, as you talked about earlier, Vandy, new coach, new system coming in, some new players. There's a little bit more stability coming into season 2. Obviously, not a whole lot of your major signings have been announced just yet, so I know you can't, release too much information. But what's the feeling around camp with that stability coming into year 2?
Yeah, no, it's all been really good so far. I think all our off-season workouts, just scrimmages, getting shots up with all the boys, it's definitely been very positive. We're all definitely very eager to get going. I know it's almost another month and a bit now until the season, so we're just starting to rev everything up now. But yeah, no, we're definitely all very excited for this year.
Awesome. And is there anyone who's has really put in that extra effort in the postseason, and you're looking for, like, oh, damn, you're gonna have a monster one this year? Is there any standouts in that camp, or is it more across the board? Everyone's been put in the hustle.
Well, I mean, I feel like we've all been sort of working. We've all been doing one or 2 days, nights a week since maybe November last year. Shout out to Ollie and Alex for putting us through workouts every Monday and Thursday if we're available. Like, it's really got us all in the right mindset heading into this year.
Nice. All right. Now, let's talk about the grand final series. Carlu's still involved, so hopefully there's no PTSD there for you. It is now 1 apiece after a pretty monster game. With both games are really seesawed, and look, there was definitely times where Illawarra had comfortable leads, but they gave them up.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you want from a grand final series, isn't it? It's tied
Sure
up
is.
1 apiece now. Every game's competitive. You can see the emotion in the teams, in the coaches, even the fans. Like, this is what you want.
For sure. Now, obviously, Trey Kell and Tyler Harvey looked good, very good through the first 3 quarters, and Tyler Harvey just finishing in Clark's face there late in the game. Of course, classic though. It's never It's never over when there's time on the clock and you've got someone like Chris Goulding. This time, though, it did happen to miss. But what do you see as crucial for Illawarra to get this done? They're going home. Has been a happy hunting ground throughout the semi-finals, grand final, classic situation last couple of years. None of that seems to matter. It's just whoever shows up. What do Illawarra need to do in this next one, do you see?
It's always tough against Melbourne. I feel like Melbourne are very adaptable. But you saw it tonight how Illawarra was attacking the bigs. I think Lee, Lowe and White all had 4 fouls by the end of the game, and they had early foul trouble as well. So I think definitely keep trying to exploit those mismatches. I reckon Sam Froling was definitely a little hard done by not getting the man of the match. I felt like he had the most impact, him and Trey Kell, this game. But yeah, for the Hawks, I think Trey Kell is really the barometer for them. If he's firing and getting everyone involved, then they can do some real damage.
For sure. They look like a completely different animal when he is firing. I definitely liked early in the game where him and Tyler Harvey were able to take it in turns.
Mm-hmm.
Really turn it on in stretches. They always look so good when they can, do that. Of course, Illawarra look at their best when they're getting out in transition, but United have done a good enough job of slowing that. At least, no Shayili to finish this game. That's a potential problem for United.
That's going to be the big question mark, I guess, heading into Game 3 and even the rest of the series. If it gets deemed a concussion, I'm not sure what the final analysis was of it, but I just saw a head knock. So hopefully it's not too bad and he'll be all right for Game 3.
Yeah, because he is that monster defensive piece for United. But of course, old man Delhi, he just looks like he's turning the clock back in this grand final series, getting to his spots, charging through the paint. Just he's almost the perfect fit for someone like Goulding, who of course can knock it down from anywhere. But he makes teams have to respect that inside from the guards, because he will, if you give him space, he'll drive in and get that floater running.
Yeah, he just knows when to step up, really. When the team needs a bucket or a big defensive stop, he just knows that, and he can sense it.
Even those 3 balls, even though I've never loved his 3, like he just gets it in tight and just, I've never loved it. It's certainly not textbook, but like tonight, when needed, bang, right there. It
always works.
So, yeah, 60% of the time. Always works. 60% of the time. All right. Okay. Now, who's your prediction then for the grand final series?
Well, I mean, before it all started, I think I actually had Hawks in 4. But
man of my own heart. That was my tip as well.
I had it Hawks, Melbourne Hawks. But I do think Hawks end up taking Game 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Shea's going to play. But if he doesn't, I just don't see Melbourne being able to stop Harvey or Kell for the full game.
That is the potential drama without someone like Shayili.
Yeah.
Who's just, and I haven't even mentioned Will Hickey, who's just been an absolute pest. And I think Casey said it best. A couple of years ago, he was, looking for a team and begging for games. And now grand final series, he's going reverse, driving baseline to go reverse layups and, just being real aggressive, throwing his body around, diving, getting after stuff. It's great to see from him. But I will throw this little statistic out there. Now, obviously, Joel Carlu, we know, took care of the North. Every time he seems to go anywhere, if he's a part of a coaching system, they get it done. Unless there is a certain player by the name of Carl Bowen, who actually played for Knox and knocked them out in, of course, on the Sunshine Coast of the NBL One Nationals. And Mr. Carl Bowen just happens to also play for United, so maybe it's the combination that finally takes down the Carlu, or maybe Carlu and Tate and everyone else on the coaching board just scrub the decks clean and get it done for Illawarra to get their second grand final here in the NBL.
We'll see if Bowen's the kryptonite.
Maybe it's that one-handed three ball, which, it's that classic thing of, like, it looks uncomfy, but I've seen it. Like, I've seen it in person. I've seen it in telly. It still feels uncomfortable, but it goes in so often.
It's money.
like it drops. It works for him. So, and that's the classic thing. It's not ugly if it works.
Exactly.
Him and Delhi. Not the same shooting coach, but similar philosophies. If it works for you, go for it. And it does for both of them. All right. So sticking with Hawks then?
Yeah. I think Hawks. Got to stick with what I thought.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that now. And I know United played a brilliant second half. They got back into the game, really forced their hand. Felt like they had control almost. Or probably I would say it felt more like Illawarra didn't have control late, and United were doing a much better job of really just getting it done. Their three balls definitely kept them in the game in that late in the fourth, but without Illy, or the question mark of whether they'll have Illy and for how long, as we sit tonight, definitely got to stick with the Hawks. I'm going to be super confident and say, Hawks in 4. I go full Suns guy, like I did at the start of the series. But, they're going to go down fighting just like they did tonight. And we talked about Hickey hustling on the other end for Hawks, obviously, but United and Tanner Krebs, he has had some really big moments. And I think United is the sort of perfect team for him. He doesn't have to be that guy, but he can come in and be, that bench guy, that guy who checks in, that sixth or even seventh man who just, it was a walking bucket there in moments.
Yeah, he's definitely been playing awesome these first 2 games. I think it was tonight. He was plus 20, I think, in 19 minutes, which is just crazy in a tight loss.
Indeed. All right, mate. It is now that time for us to play, the game that is taking the NBL One North by storm. Okay. Who's that teammate?
Oh,
Insert catchy music at some point. Sponsorship opportunities are still available too out there. Reach out if you want to get in on the ground level of this amazing game. All right. If you haven't played this one before, this is how it works. I give 3 clues. They can be cryptic. They can be, a random stat from a game, one particular stat from a game, something like that. But these are all current and I'm going to say possibly returning players, but players who are definitely part of that run last season. And all of them definitely travelled in the grand final. So I'll give you that clue as well. Okay, so the way this works is 3 points if you nail it on the first go. You get 1 try per clue. The clues get progressively easier. We'll see how we go. Are you ready?
Let's do it. The pressure's on now.
Look, we'll have the caps board because it'll be obviously Coach Ollie was in not that long ago. He did all right. So bragging rights are definitely going to be available next training session. Let's see how we do. All right, first player, first clue. Atem Moore.
Tim.
A Tem more. A Tem more is the clue.
This is giving me nothing.
That's the idea of the first one, yeah.
Tim.
A 10 more. I'm going to need a clue. Otherwise, I'll have to move on to. Going to need a guess, sorry. Otherwise, I'll have to move on to clue number 2.
Yeah, no, I've got nothing. I'm just going to throw out a name.
Yep.
Let's go Cam Thu.
It is not Cam Thu. Nice. Nice try, though. I'm going to throw in clue number 2, leadership group.
Oh, okay.
Leadership group.
It's going to be one of 3.
Said second one's easier.
Tim. Is it Izzy?
It is not Izzy.
Okay.
Good try, though. Third clue for 1 point. Viking Junior.
Mr. Kopolopicus.
Kopolopicus, Copper Kick-Ass, and a 10 more is roommate backwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, sometimes they're really difficult. Got me there. Yeah. So, like, for example, for Jerron Jameson, when I was doing with this with Coach Carlu, his one was Irish because his last name's Jameson. So, sometimes they're real tricky. 1 point, though. You got out with 1 point. Next player number 2. I'm going to start you off with high IQ.
G-Pup.
Look at you go. All right, 3 points. Boom. High IQ it is. Yeah, GPAP. I mean,
Future
kids
doctor.
as smart as it comes. So, yeah, future doctor. Road trip last year to Mackay and then Rocky. I had the pleasure of sleeping beside him on the plane, and every time I was stirred awake, he was still sitting there taking notes, doing readings, that kind of stuff. The kid just
always
hustles.
That guy.
Yep. All right, 3 points. Okay, I won't release the other clues. I'll hold them back for perhaps a future cap. All right, let's go player number 3. 4 points, young man. Here we go. Third NBL 1 North team. Third NBL 1 North team.
Probably Cam Thu.
Are you going to lock that in, or you do want to go with probably? I'll go to...
Or he's played Northside, Gold Coast, and now us. Yeah, Cam Thu.
Cam Thu it is. All right. 7 points.
There we go.
Look at this.
What a good team.
Just an all-round top bloke. Look at you go. Okay. All right. 4th player. Who's that teammate? No pressure, but, you need to really get after this one. Missed 1 game. Missed 1 game.
Gabe Hadley.
Not Gabe Hadley.
No.
That clue might fit for Gabe as well, but not Gabe. So for 2 points, has played in 2 NBL 1 Grand Final series.
Oh, it's got to be Izzy. I'm not sure if he missed a game or not, but I will say Izzy.
Izzy, yes, he did miss the first game against the Wizards.
Yeah, the first game.
And then was there for the rest. Also, of course, it being an NBL 1 Grand Final series, that also would have been young Mr. Sam McDaniel, my apologies.
McDaniel, yeah.
Sam McDaniel, yeah. Of course, with the down with Hobart. But, mate, 2 points. So what have we got there? 1, 3, 7, 9. Ooh. 9 out of a possible 12.
I'll take that.
Look at you go. Look at you go. Hey, not bad at all. We'll circle that. That's going to put you at the top of the player leaderboard. And Ollie's going to still remain at the top of the coaches leaderboard. And obviously we'll get stuck in, and as hey, you might stay at that top spot. You might come a tumbling. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see how the season shakes out. But all right, it is time. Excuse me. For local card shop of Woolloongabba, Crackem. Here we are. We've got a pack of what else but 2023, 2024 tops. We've got 6 cards in the pack here, mate. Traditionally, you've been amazing at these.
This is what gives me nightmares.
Well, it's you versus nobody, mate. It
makes it even worse.
You and the listeners out there. I'm sure on the playback, Steph will tell you that he got them faster than you, but don't stress. He does that for everybody. So, all right, 6 cards. Let's get into it. Ooh, definitely a gettable card here with card number 1. Somebody opened the 23-24 campaign with a hot hand, going 6 for 8 on the 3-point attempts and ringing up 23 points in Sydney's 96-81 victory over Illawarra. The runner-up to LaMelo Ball for the 2020 NBL Rookie of the Year award, somebody has made steady progress since. He contributed to Sydney's championship run in the first season with them in 2022-2023. Still with the Kings, this player. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. According to this, they're born in 1997, but some of these have not been perfectly accurate.
97, so he's my age too.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
I can give you a hint. You have played against this person.
I've played against him.
You've played against him.
Oh.
Is still with the Kings.
What?
Had an absolute... Sorry?
Wait.
There we go. We've led the horse to water with Kawatnoi. There's the card there. Just a basey, but still nice little card. And, of course, he's had himself an injury-free, just amazing season with the Kings. Sadly for the Kings, of course, they couldn't make, return to that magical form where they won chips, but still. All right. Card number 2. You got this, Mr. Soong, the local card shop of Woolloongabba. The Jack Jumpers made somebody their final roster addition for the 23-24 season, adding a veteran of the league with size, toughness, and scoring prowess. He's an exceptional shooter and rebounder who can play multiple positions for us. Tasmania co-CEO Jurek Shivers said when signing somebody in June, "We also really admire his competitiveness. He spent 3 seasons with the Taipans and 3 seasons before that with the 36ers. Majok Dang it is. There we go. I'm going to put that one in the big boy pile of he got that all by himself. Well done. All right. All right, next card up. Ooh. Actually, I've just noticed the next 2 cards are the same player. So what I will do is I'm going to read the back of the numbered fancier insert special card, and we'll go with that one. Somebody captured his 6th NBL scoring title and 5th in succession in 2022/2023. But getting buckets isn't... Bryce Cotton, there it is. Number 11.
It is very fancy.
Yeah, Big City Ballers card, numbered 23 of 50. Very nice. That's definitely going in a card safe that I've sourced, of course, from the local card shop of Woolloongabba. Okay. Ooh, here we go. So second last card, only 5 cards then. The other one, of course, was Bryce as well, but just a base one. You know, not quite as fancy.
Claim that as a win as well.
That one you can have. I'll pop that one in a card safe for you and make sure we get it to you. All right. A card number 4 now. A product of the Basketball Australia Centre of Excellence, or the COE as we know it. Somebody joined his third NBL team when he signed with the Southeast Melbourne ahead of the 2023-2024 campaign. He drained 42.9% of his 3-point attempts in his first 5 games with the Phoenix, showing off one of his multiple attractive traits. Somebody also is known as one of the league's top defenders. Mm-hmm.
Fine with was it his third team, the Phoenix?
Third team, the Phoenix, yes. And I'm pretty sure he has just signed with his third NBL 1 North team as well. Announced just the other day, you have played against this man before.
Kenyon?
It is Matt Kenyon. All right. Okay, now this card, final card, card 5.
Pressure.
If you don't get this one, serious questions will be asked at training. Okay, I'm going to put that right out there now.
Name McDaniel.
You've got it wrong already. I like where your head's at, though. Very good, very good. All right. Final card for local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem. Let's do it. The first player in Jack Jumper's history to record a double-double. I mean, do you need any more? Do you want me to keep going? Or
Is that Magnay?
It is hometown Brizzy boy, one of the Brisbane Willies himself. Guy, you've won a championship with here before, of course, the NBL 1 North, NBL 1 rebrand. Mr. Will Magnay, former Capital, former roller for a time, before Boomer's call-up, obviously. And, yeah, Mr. Magnay. Okay, you got well done. Well done.
As I thought.
No, don't stress it, mate. Don't stress it. That's not bad. I'm not going to throw the people under the bus who we've had on that were, but that you're good. You're good. All right, mate. That wraps us up here. We're well done and dusted. Mate, thank you very much for joining and giving us your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Mel. I'll wait for the next call.
Probably next week, mate, if you're going to answer like that. All right, thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget those sponsors, of course, the official beer company. Get down to the local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem. They are still open. I don't want to say cyclone proof. They did have an issue with an awning, but that's all sorted now. So you're all good. Get down there to local card shop of Woolloongabba. Say good day to Rob and the team. But that is going to wrap us up again. If you are listening somewhere that allows those 5-star reviews, please do go and do that. That stuff really does help. But until you're listening to us again, just remember that ball don't lie.
Never does.